Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the 5-Minute Major, where we debate the hottest topics in sports. And today, the hottest topic in sports, Paul Friesen and Kirk Penton, is Spygate, Winnipeg Blue Bombers edition. Gentlemen, this is not about Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. This is the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and mysterious Ron Trentini.
Yes.
Apparently spying on the Hamilton Tiger Cats in practice, and some crazy stuff with the team denying it. What is going on here? This is another bizarre moment in this incredibly bizarre Bomber season.
Just another day in Bomber Town. I mean, hey, if there's not some controversy going on, it's not a normal day. The Bombers, of course, deny that they put Ron Trentini up to this. They say he was overzealous, drew some pictures of plays and formations on his own. He is a scout for them, though. He's done some work for them. But they deny that they put him up to it and apologized immediately to the Cats.
So do you buy that? Do you buy that?
I'm skeptical, I must admit.
Yeah.
It's possible, I suppose. We should take them at their face value. I understand maybe Kirk, the Ticats aren't convinced.
Well, no, Bob Avilovich is not convinced. He thinks that someone higher up sent Ron Trentini to practice yesterday, and he says it's not that big a deal. They're moving on. You know, what's he going to say?
Well, they made a pretty big deal out of it. A lot of what he's
they
said,
kicked him out,
questioning their integrity, calling it unethical.
Yeah.
That's making it a fairly big deal, complaining with the CFL about it.
Yeah.
Clearly, they didn't like it, and they don't want to see it happen again. And the Bombers are in the wrong here.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not supposed to do this. It is cheating.
And it's an unwritten rule, though. Right?
It was until today, I think.
Yeah, well, today the
it
CFL
won't be anymore.
No, the CFL has come down against it and warned every team that this is not acceptable.
Yeah.
But it's kind of an unwritten rule, a gentleman's agreement, really, right? Coaches don't want this to happen to them, so they agree. Hey, we won't do it. You guys don't do it. It's an unwritten gentleman's agreement.
But as was pointed out,
so is it cheating though, or not?
As somebody pointed out today, knowing the formations and knowing a play isn't going to help you at all unless you know it's coming, and that's stealing signals. That's why stealing signals is looked upon much worse than just charting plays in practice.
So this is more gamesmanship.
Well, I guess.
Psychological.
But I mean,
Sneaky,
what Bob Abilovich said basically was that they're not going to get anything out of their practice on Tuesday that they couldn't have gotten from 2 games of game film, right?
So why do it?
Well, that might
why does Obilovich get upset about it?
That might support the Bombers' argument. Why do it? Maybe Ron Trentini, whoever he is, did go on his own and was doing something that wasn't even that necessary. But is a very big black mark on the Blue Bombers, I think.
Doesn't look good. One CFL executive described it to me not maybe as cheating, but unsportsmanlike.
Well, fair enough.
You know, maybe that's a good way of putting it.
All right, let's lay that one to rest for a couple of minutes here and just talk about the Bombers themselves. They rarely seem to be able to generate any headlines from football itself. It all seems to come from other things, but they did win a game last weekend against the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Grey Cup champions. A huge win against Calgary with Stefan Lafors leading the way as the quarterback. My opinion of Stefan Lafors was that he didn't have a particularly great game, hasn't had any particularly great games yet as a Bomber, but serviceable. And when they had a good defensive game and a serviceable offense, they were able to win.
Yeah, and that's really what you look at. He had a chance. They should have gone to overtime, and they won a game. You know, that's not bad for leading your brand new team. He still should complete more than 50% of his passes, and they say the receivers and quarterback just need to get on the same page. They say that that's a factor, and I don't know. You can't really trash him. He's 1-1. So.
I love his feistiness. Love his mobility, the way he runs around out there, but he's got to get more accurate with his throwing.
Yeah.
And he
but I think
left a lot
come.
of yards out there. Yeah, it might come. But they may be the kind of team all season that relies on ugly, grinded out defense wins. And that's fine.
Yeah.
They've won Grey Cups that way.
Well, you take that as long as your offense doesn't lose it for you.
Sure. And they're not.
And they haven't done that
They're not
so
turning
far.
the ball over, which is half the battle.
And what Kelly said in your column today, they're 1-1.
Yes, bottom line.
And they've got games against Hamilton and Toronto, who are teams that, coming into the season, you would have said they've got a pretty good chance of beating. Hamilton obviously had a huge game against BC and won out there, so they're surprising already as well. Yeah. But Lafors, I think, just doesn't look like he has as much zip on the ball as maybe you need to when you're a CFL starting quarterback. That's just my assessment of it. And I think when he's throwing into some tight coverages like he did last week, you're going to end up having a few more picks. He didn't have them picked off this time.
No.
But that can happen because you've got to have a little more zip on it.
And when it gets windy in the fall, that's going to be crucial to have more zip on your passes because they'll just
Yeah.
float into the opposition's hands.
I think if you're smart enough and experienced enough, you can get away with an average arm. We've
Oh, yeah.
seen quarterbacks get away with an average arm.
Yeah.
Will
Is that what
LaFours
you'd
get
say?
and it is an average
will-
arm.
It's an
but
average arm.
He admits that.
Yeah.
So
Will LaFours
But
get
hey,
that good?
it's what he does with it.
He's on the board. He's got his first career win,
Absolutely.
and there's only up to go from there. So
Yeah, right.
it's good for him.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for another spirited discussion.
All right.
For Kirk Penton and Paul Friesen, I'm Sun Sports Editor Ted Wyman. We'll talk to you again next week on the 5 Minute Major.